Hi there, guys. Octavian here. This is going to be 100 Casts, episode 55. We are about 57 seconds into the replay here. I decided to skip the part where they are all walking out of the base and into the jungle, since anybody who's played this game up until the point of level 30 has probably seen that a few hundred times. Anybody who's played beyond that probably seen it a few thousand. I know I've probably seen people walking out of base into lanes and into the jungle thousands and thousands of times at this point. I have played and watched and talked about this game far too much already, and I plan on doing it a lot more in the future. But yeah, this is a replay sent in to me by the top laner over on blue team, playing Riven there, going by the name of Your Drunk Granny. Pretty great name, I would have to say. Some of the names that people come up with in these games are just wonderful. Some of them confuse me, and I don't know how to pronounce them, like Skarner's right there. Kazadin? I don't know. I'm probably just going to be calling him Skarner or Giant Purple Scorpion Dude this game. One of the two, both are applicable. And it looks like Giant Purple Scorpion Dude is going to be starting off at the Gromp camp, while Lee-Sin on the other side of the map there, going by the name of Jalapeno Pringles, or no, Pringles Jalapeno, sorry. Got it backwards there, is going to be starting off at the Krugs. A lot of junglers in the new meta, for those of you not aware, in the preseason meta that has evolved so far. Though it is the preseason, it's subject to a lot of potential change. But right now, the meta is to start at either Gromp or the Krugs, because they both give you one of the most powerful, one of the two, rather, most powerful smite buffs in the game, and it's all about them smite buffs right now, not the blue or the red buff that you pick up. Those are very, very powerful still, as usual, the slow and the cooldown reduction being incredibly valuable, and all that extra mana, more importantly, for a jungler trying to do their first clear. But the starting out the Krugs or the Gromp allows you to do the rest of your jungle with a bit more ease. Playboy going up forward there and landing a slow as well as a snare into the enemy Kog'Maw. Ezreal and Zyra hitting level 2 early, and meanwhile up in top lane, Drunk Granny's going right in onto Enthusio, but Enthusio's going to just be backing up a bit. I believe that's Enthusio, though I only got to see the name for a few seconds there. Hopefully we'll swap back over to Lissandra, and I can correct my mistake if there was one, and pat myself on the back for some quick reading skills, if there wasn't. As minus EV and Veg going to go ahead and try and last hit under this tower here. It's a little bit difficult to last hit as Kog'Maw. Enthusio, I am patting myself on the back right now because that is indeed his name, but Your Drunk Granny's going to be nearly interrupting his teleport away. A little bit of a later cast on that third charge of Broken Wings would have actually interrupted the Glacial Path from Lissandra. Would have been quite a big deal. I think Riven would have definitely won that fight, but so long as Enthusio can keep kiting around here, he is going to be getting the advantage in a lot of these engagements, though he's kind of out of mana at this point, and of course Drunk Granny playing Riven right there, not going to be having that issue. But it looks like Pringles Jalapeno going for his first gank. Ooh, Enthusio had two options there, and neither one of them was good. He could either swap away and get hit by Pringles Jalapeno's Sonic Wave, which would have meant he'd follow up, and Lee-Sin would have gotten the kill, or he could have stuck around and gotten brought down by the broken sword of Riven. Really, he probably should have turned around and tried to fight that, but it was a very, very quick decision that he had to make there, and he did not have very many good options. Even turning to fight probably wouldn't have resulted in a kill. It just had the potential to result in a one-for-one trade. So it was the best of a bad situation. He decided to, he gave up his life to Riven instead, which actually is probably the worst possible outcome there for him. But Playboy going right in, landing the snare, forcing the flash away from minus EV's Kog'Maw. He's going to take Dark Lantern back into the lane to get back to farming, but he's out of mana. He doesn't have flash. And I think that was... No, that was not exhaust burned by the Thresh. It was exhaust burned by the Zyra. So that's going to be an exhaust traded by the blue side support for a flash from the red side AD carry. Hook going for a field goal right there between both members of the enemy team. And Flay doing the same thing as Void Ooze flies off to the side. So a lot of skill shots not quite connecting down here in the bottom lane for purple team, making an unfortunate situation that much worse. Ooh, and speaking of skill shots and connecting, Playboy lands a very nice Q onto both of the enemy bottom laners there and gets some good damage off. Ooh, minus EV is in trouble. Ooh, if that tower hadn't refocused right then and the lantern hadn't come out, he might have been going down just to the damage from the Zyra plant. It's very, very risky of him to stick around like this, especially as an immobile Kog'Maw. Flash away from Playboy. Playboy, rather, as he's flayed under the tower. Now Veg is going under the tower. The exhaust is dropped. Ooh, that is... Both members of Blue Team are incredibly low down here. Playboy's going to be getting the kill in the end, as Veg is going to be falling to Miyasu, who's going to just about get out of there. 50 or 60 hit points left on that Ezreal health bar. Meanwhile, up in top lane, your drunk granny did manage to finish off the Lissandra that he's facing off against. I apologize once again. I keep forgetting to leave mumble when I do these recordings, so if you heard that robot voice talking in the background, that was, in fact, mumble announcing someone moving from one channel to another. I suppose I should talk to the guys who make mumble, because apparently every single video I'm just going to be advertising for their VoIP software. It is good quality. It's pretty good. It's pretty solid stuff. I've been using it for a while now. It doesn't really crash. It's very lightweight, but I'm not being sponsored by them, so I should probably stop talking. Uniqua getting hit by the Q does barely any damage. Looks like this LeBlanc is not, in fact, maxing that first, which is fairly common at this point. A lot of LeBlancs like to max the distortion because it gives very high damage, at least as high damage as any of the other abilities, while also giving you that high mobility that the low cooldown offers. Error 504 getting leaped on here by Uniqua. He's going to go into the Death Mark to try and avoid the snare. Doesn't quite avoid it, but it doesn't really seem to matter. The Ignite and the Pop going to be enough to bring Error 504 down in the 1v1 between the two assassin mid lanes. Zed getting the upper hand there. Pringles Jalapeno was around just in case he was needed, but the kill went down so quickly, he couldn't show up in lane in time to help out, so... Kind of it's the thought that counts in that kind of gank. He's there, and he didn't get the assist, but hey, moral support. I don't know whether to feel good about that as a jungler or bad. Because, I mean, in the end, it means really I spent time there and I didn't get anything out of it if I'm the jungler trying to do that gank. But my laner got a kill, and that was kind of my stated goal in coming near the lane anyways. So I guess what I wanted to happen happened, it's just I didn't get gold for it, so I'm selfishly annoyed. Oh, Cadden in a very bad place. He does manage to dodge the Q from Pringles Jalapeno, and that's going to be able to let him escape from the jungle, but he lost his blue buff for that. As now Error 504 is going right in onto Uniqua. Does not care at all that he lost the last trade. He's going to go ahead and start another one anyways. Miss Yu going to be hooked in by Veg, and minus EV is going to be taking a lot of damage after that hook expires, though. The exhaust is dropped, and Playboy presses the R key. Huge burst of damage there from Zyra, as Drunk Granny's going right onto Enthusio in the top lane. Going to be getting the killing spree off onto that Lissandra. This top lane is going incredibly well for the side of Blue Team, as has the whole game, really. We are 7-0 up right now, as well as nearly 4,000 gold up for blue side. Miss Yu and Playboy pushing in the absence of the enemy AD carry. Always a good idea, but it looks like perhaps right now it wasn't quite the best idea, though Error 504 might have misplayed this quite poorly. Ooh, double dash to get away from there as the teleport comes in from Lissandra, looking to try and make this gank somehow salvageable. The Lissandra ult's going to be bringing down MSU as he goes right into the bush. However, there was a ward on it. He was trying to break vision, because Lissandra does have to point and click at you to be able to press R. But sadly, there was already a ward placed down in that bush from the conscientious support that is Thresh. And so Lissandra going to be able to pick up her first kill of the game by teleporting and roaming down to the bottom lane. She is still very far behind on CS, though. That is a 20 or more CS lead in the pocket of your drunk granny. So, I was not aware that your grandmother could play League of Legends, but apparently she's very good at it while drunk and playing Riven. Because finding a Zed in the jungle, it's going to be ulted by the Skarner, flashes away, and the pop actually doesn't kill him, so Uniqua has to flash after him. Does finish off the kill, but had to burn perhaps a bit more than he thought he would to take out the giant purple scorpion. He's going to sit around and wait for Lissandra to come back to the lane, but she's wizened up to the fact that there's a ninja in the jungle, so it's going to go the long way back onto the lane there. If you look down at the minimap, she's walking all the way around the Krug camp, rather than going through the tri-brush. Better to be safe. Oh, Veg looking to get some sort of CC, lands it onto Playboy. There's the hook, the box as well, but minus EV is just way too squishy right now. Playboy flashes forward to try and get a knock-up to finalize these kills. But Veg and minus EV have gotten a little bit too far away at that point, but they're the ones who started that fight, and they came out way, way behind after it. Arrow 504 going for the roam. Red team has been doing a lot of roaming. They're trying to get their solo laners back into this game by focusing down on the bottom lane. Playboy now getting hit up by the auto attacks from Veg and minus EV. Masiu went very, very low in that fight, but minus EV went even lower. In fact, fell over. He didn't have any more hit points left. Masiu now getting dashed in upon by Arrow 504's LeBlanc as Playboy tries desperately to finish off Veg before he goes down, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. The CC is real, and Skarner is picking up the kill. But Error 504, why did you do that? He forgot about the death passive on the Zyra, while up in top lane, Drunk Granny is on a rampage, getting kill after kill onto Lysandra. This Riven is going to be very, very difficult to deal with. Lots of swords in the inventory right now. Turret goes down as well. Global gold to the rest of the team. Uniqua has picked up his turret in the middle lane as well. Only bottom lane has yet to grab a turret. It looks like Kassidin is actually trying to get a turret in bottom lane for the other side, for the team wearing the red banners. I don't think he'll be able to do it in time. Maybe he ran out of minions, so he's going to run on back into a safer place than being underneath an enemy turret. Meanwhile, Pringles Jalapeno did see that Skarner was on the other side of the map, so he went to check out the red buff. That wasn't there, so he decided, may as well take something. And counter jungles away the Raptor camp. Doesn't entirely clear it either, so that's going to have to be taken care of. Minus EV, Ignite, and Deathmark running and popping onto him. Uniqua using all his cooldowns, but he does indeed get the kill very, very handily. Now he might be in a bit of trouble, though. Veg and Kassidin coming after him through the jungle, along with Arrow 504. Perhaps a little bit more than was necessary to bring down the Zed, but they wanted to make sure, and make sure indeed. Overkill still has kill in it, and they do indeed get the kill. This whole time, though, Masiu has been pushing down bottom lane, while Playboy has been playing defense for him, dropping those seeds in the jungle, getting tons of vision control, and warding away the enemy team. And there's the turret going to be falling. 3 turrets to 0, blue team in the lead here. And in the lead in pretty much every way on the map. They've got the map control because of the lack of turrets on the other side. It looks like they're going to be going for the first dragon of the game as well. That's an attack boost to them. Well, an attack and other things boost as well. AP and AD don't just scale into damage, but Veg is dropping the box. He gets exhausted, though. Very nice hook as Miyusu tries to Arcane Shift away, perhaps capitalizing on that. Minus EV can make something happen here, but there's just too many forces from the other side. That's going to be a double kill going over to Misu's Ezreal. Meanwhile, Enthusio and Arrow 504, as well as Kassidin, have all roamed down here. Pringles Jalapeno is going to pay the price for them having done so. But Zed has come from the middle lane and Drunk Cranny from the top lane on that Riven. He gets the kill onto Skarner. Uniqua picking that one up as Misiu gets his 3rd kill of this little engagement on Ezreal. Not quite a triple, it was a bit too delayed from the other 2. But still, 3 kills going into Ezreal's bank right there. 4-0-2, no, that's the Riven. 4-2-4 is the Ezreal. Their artwork looks sort of similar. You can forgive me. I hope. If you can't forgive me, I'm terribly sorry. Misiu dodging out some artillery shots there. Doesn't quite dodge that one. He's very low. 1 more, maybe 2 more, and then he's going to be going down. Uniqua gets hooked from over the wall. Minus EV, though, just standing still. The exhaust is dropping Uniqua, but there is no way that is going to stop this kill from happening. He's trying to escape after getting in there and getting the Kog'Maw, but I really don't think he's going to be able to get out of here alive. He shifts away, but there's a Skarner to the side as well as a LeBlanc. He's going to be going down in the end to a LeBlanc auto attack of all things. Everything that was being thrown at him there. Skill shots, high damage ultimates, everything. LeBlanc auto attack sneaks in. Little tiny burst of purplish pink sparkles comes in and kills him off. So just goes to show you there's no such thing as a kill steal. At least I doubt Error 504 was actually attempting to do that. If he was, very impressed. And a little bit confused as to why he doesn't have more CS if you can CS players like that during a team fight, but he gets a killing spree there. Zyra, even when ahead, is very squishy. Not much mobility, can be caught out and killed very, very easily, especially by LeBlanc. Your Drunk Granny is unstoppable, bringing down Skarner as Veg hooks him in just to find some more doom for himself as the triple kill is finished off onto Kog'Maw just after those other 2 are brought down in the jungle. This is starting to look real bad for the side of red team. 3 members of blue are pushing up the middle lane. The 3 members which are most well-equipped for bringing down towers. Perhaps, arguably, Zed would be a bit better than the Lee Sin, but Lee Sin's building some damage items anyways, so all in all, this is a very, very early inhibitor. Yeah, Pringles Jalapeno finalizing the kill on that, but it looks like there's a little bit of a skirmish here. Enthusiast does manage to ult in onto the Riven, and the shutdown gold goes over exactly where they needed it, onto minus EV's Kog'Maw. Now, maybe they can chase down this Lee Sin, but he's a slippery, slippery fellow, and so he's going to be able to ward hop right on out of there, while LeBlanc chases Ezreal through the jungle. Kassadin fighting off against Playboy. Might not have been the target that he wanted, though. Pringles Jalapeno is there for backup and gets the kill. Meanwhile, Uniqua is going right in onto Enthusiast with that Zed ult. The Deathmark's going to pop, but it's not quite enough to bring down the Lissandra, so he's going to wander away back into the jungle and call it a day. Ezreal split pushing in the top lane still. LeBlanc not able to bring him down. Actually went down himself. Error 504 falling over there. I did not expect that to happen, but it happened off screen, so I can't exactly tell you why it did, but I'm sure it was very, very exciting. Or rather, I'm sure it was not exciting at all. You didn't miss anything. Top lane turret falling. That is a 6-0 turret lead for blue side, as Drunk Granny hops and jumps on out of there. We have a little bit of a quieter moment on the map here, so we can take a look at some of the builds. A little bit of a questionable item pickup from LeBlanc there, but Drunk Granny's going right in. Enthusiast is going to be falling over as the flash knockup from Riven. That is a dangerous, dangerous combo. You can actually flash mid-animation, and so you'll land next to them. They have basically no time to react. The knockup hits, and then it's very easy to land the stun right thereafter. And during that whole time, you're, of course, sneaking in an auto or two, perhaps even an activation of the Ravenous Hydra, which Drunk Granny has picked up in his inventory there, an item I was about to go over when he interrupted me with plays. Oh, plays, always interrupting my attempts at talking about builds. I don't want to shoutcast the action. Who wants to watch good plays and action and interesting spectacle and fancy flashiness? No, you don't want to watch that. You want to talk about item builds. That's what's really fun. They both have their merits. Lantern going to be pulling Skarner back towards the base as minus EV is caught way out of position here. Uniqua and Misiu, again, another lots of consonants in a row name, going to be picking up that kill and turning their attention to pushing this lane. Drop some wards for protection behind them. Not entirely necessary, but always a good precaution. The rest of the red team is, of course, not exactly in a position to loop around behind them at this point, but perhaps in the future. Drunk Granny getting ulted and then ulted again. First by Enthusiast and then by Skarner. Ooh, Pringles Jalapeno manages to leap over the wall, but Veg is going to chase after him and toss out the hook. He dodges to the side of it, though, as Kassadin is going to be going right in towards Misiu, trying to finish off that kill, but he gets finished off himself. Now Playboy dropping down the Zyra ult for some zone control as Lissandra falls over, and Pringles Jalapeno, with one more ward hop, escapes the grasping clutches of Veg's Thresh. Misiu still pushing down in the bottom lane, going to get that turret eventually. As Uniqua, why are you even there? Why are you there? How did he kill? How did he kill, man? He's gonna kill another man. He has some lifesteal. He's gonna maybe be able to survive. No, Veg finishes him off with an empowered auto attack after waiting for a few seconds. Actually, fairly intelligent Thresh play right there. He knew that if he just kept autoing him, he'd never quite have the burst because he wouldn't be building up the empowered auto from Flay, because it does build up over time rather than with auto attacks or any other sort of mechanic. So we knew that if he just kept autoing on cooldown, on auto attack cooldown, or with his attack speed is at max auto attack speed for where he is now. Oh, Drunk Granny going right in, manages to finish off minus EV actually, 100-0 in the middle of 4 enemies. He takes out the AD carry. Whew. But yeah, what I was saying about Thresh, it's actually a fairly interesting point. So that's one of the reasons why I want to get back to it. Normally I wouldn't go back to something after it's been so long since it's actually happened, but it is very, very interesting. And it's the little things that can catch my interest like that. He actually waited for a few seconds so that the magic damage would build up so that he'd have the burst needed to break through the hit points which the Zed had. Misiu getting bound up and then ulted by Enthusio. He does not want that Ezreal to be doing anything. Drunk Granny now coming in, going to be finishing off Enthusio, so it's a 1-for-1 so far. Arrow 504, though, his chain hits a minion, so he's not going to be able to continue after the chase, and it looks like he's going to end there. Aside from this turret, if Uniqua and Drunk Granny want to get into melee range, but a Skarner and a Thresh have shown up, and that's a lot more CC added to the mix. They probably don't really want to go and push this anymore. In fact, they're being chased away, but they're also being flanked around. Zyra there, Playboy getting hooked up by Veg. The Lantern pulls in a Skarner, and Kassadin is going to be going for this kill. Flashes forward onto Zyra. The hook lands as well again. But Drunk Granny and Jalapeno have come in from the side along with Uniqua, and they're going to be going in and trying to avenge their fallen comrade. They have taken 2 lives. Can they take a third? The Ignite is burning, but Veg drops down his shield. He might be able to survive a little bit longer. Zed chasing after him, just waiting for that Shadow Swap to come back up, and he does get the kill off screen to the bottom of the side of the minimap there. As Pringles Jalapeno and your Drunk Granny are going to push in and take the middle inhibitor. That's going to be falling here at 21 minutes into the game. 1 turret on the side of red team and 7 on the side of blue. This is starting to look fairly dismal. Oh, they do get a shutdown gold though onto Enthusio. That is a decent place to have it. Lysandra does quite well with gold. She can do quite a bit, but perhaps is a little bit too little, too late. Masiu dashing away from Kassadin's Skarner does not want to get shown the stinger. Sorry about that. Just sore throat. Had to take a drink of this wonderful drink that I have right here. It's some sort of caffeine drink that I've never had before. It's called Runa or something like that. It's interesting, as Kassadin is going to be deleted by Playboy's damage along with Masiu's ulti coming across right there. The True Shot Barrage doing a lot of bursts. And Enthusio thinks about going in with the Glacial Path, but doesn't really want to. Instead, he turns around, he flashes in, lands the snare, and then the ulti onto Zyra is incredibly low. Finally! The W of all things, the magic damage chunk from the AD carry Ezreal is going to be bringing down Lysandra. That last little bit of damage needed coming across as Drunk Granny is being kited back and forth right here. He wants to get a kill. He flashes forward, but Arrow 504 manages to distortion away from the Wind Slash. Veg, though, is going to be popped. Uniqua showed up and dropped the ulti, and that is really a bit of a death sentence, if you'll pardon the terrible joke. Kassadin going to be brought down by Pringles Jalapeno as Arrow 504 gets kicked away by the same man. They don't want more fighting, they just wanted just enough to get a kill. Oh, Drunk Granny, you nearly died to a laser there. Thankfully, there were a lot of shields involved, and so Riven was able to escape, dropping some wards for vision behind them as they try and head back to base. They're all very low on health. If Enthusio and Arrow 504 can catch up to pretty much any of them, they would most likely have those kills unless lots of plays were involved. Enthusio, Glacial Path off towards Uniqua, wants this Zed, and he's going to be going down. Arrow 504 picking up that kill opportunistically off of the CC that Lysandra had landed. Arrow 504 wants to finish up Drunk Granny, but somehow Ezreal has been thrown into the mix here. He showed up from off the side of the screen, and he's going to be finishing off the kill onto LeBlanc and chasing after Enthusio through the jungle, who's very low on health. Double kill for Masiu. Oh, Kassadin might want a piece of this pie, though. He's going to be going in with that Skarner. He wants to land the ulti on somebody, but nobody is nearby. Everybody keeps flashing away, and Masiu gets the triple kill as Riven finishes off Kog'Maw all by her lonesome. Drunk Granny, as I said, is becoming quite a problem. I mean, it is just about holidays times. A lot of people are having problems with Drunk Grannies right around now, and it looks like Red Team is among them. Veg lands the box, though, and gets the kill into the very low health Riven, biting off a bit more than she could maybe chew. Gets revenge, though, from Masiu, who's going to be going after Arrow 504 as well. The damage this Ezreal is putting out is pretty intense right now. Meanwhile, split push Zyra support, making waves in the bottom lane. New strategies. Masiu, there's an enemy team there. They have CC. Yep, yeah, Ezreal died. Got a little bit too focused in on killing off those minions there and ended up paying for his life with it. Oh my good lord, Playboy does damage. Well, yeah, that Void Staff would certainly explain why that happened. Zyra has very, very good base damage, so building Magic Pen can do a lot of work. Minus EV getting popped by Uniqua's Zed right there. Swaps away over the wall. Leaves behind a shadow of himself. And the enemy team just backs off to deal with some super minions that are pushing in onto their Nexus turret. I do say turret singular since they've already lost one of them. This is a sorry state of affairs for Red Team. They might be able to claw their way back into this game, yet they do have quite a bit of CC, and that is one of the best ways of coming back in a game if you have a heavy CC team. It's one of the reasons why I love playing heavy CC champions, because CC is useful even if you fall behind. But Playboy and Kassadin, and a little bit of an odd 1v1 here. Playboy is spamming Laugh, but maybe he shouldn't have been doing that. Kassadin going to be able to bring him down as Uniqua shows up, maybe for the revenge. The true damage chunk from the undead plant is going to be helping him bring down that kill. Skarner going to be falling to Zed, as the rest of blue team is off, picking up the first Baron of the game here at 25.5 minutes or so. Oh my god. The spikes are real right there. Lee Sin being finished off by Baron. Baron finished off, though, by Drunk Granny's Riven. Its death animation is incredible now. Just the way it, like, flails around and you can see it's, like, soul emanating out of its body. It's pretty damn cool, I would have to say. MSU shifting over the wall to go after a red buff. Blue team playing a little bit of PvE before they go after some more PvP. Drunk Granny cheekily stealing it away from his own teammate with an auto attack. Though a red buff on Riven is, I would say, arguably as good as a red buff on Ezreal, depending on the situation you're in. On Riven is more of a chasing tool, whereas on Ezreal it's more of a kiting one, but minus EV going to be caught out up here. Two members of the enemy team chasing after him. Really, they didn't need two, but two is certainly going to be enough. And in a fit of despair, he's going to run into a bush and explode. Oh, Uniqua popping the Yuma's Ghostblade, going right into Enthusia, who's sitting on a ward, but he's taking actually quite a bit of damage. This Lysandre's doing some work now and zone using to avoid the pop from the Deathmark. He's going to get away at half hit points, leaving Uniqua at about the same. Off to the side, though, Lee Sin has been down on the other side of the map there. Taking out the third Dragon of the game for blue team, I believe. Perhaps the second. Please don't sue me if I'm wrong. I don't know, there's been a lot of frivolous lawsuits in the history of this country. Perhaps you could. Drunk Granny getting hooked back by Veg. The flay is not up, though, so it looks like Drunk Granny might be able to escape, but he turns around with the final charge of the Broken Wings and actually wants to fight. Probably shouldn't have. He goes down to the Skarner, as Kassadin is going to be chasing after MSU as well. Blue team in shambles up in the top lane here, but the rest of the map, they are showing up strong. MSU going to shift over the wall while the rest of his team does some busy work pushing down those inhibitors. A little bit more PvE for the blue team. Don't exactly know how coordinated that was. Perhaps it was just opportunistic split pushing. Perhaps it was actual communication between the team telling each other to go up to top lane and distract the other side. But either way, it worked out beautifully for blue team. They have every inhibitor but the top one down, and they are rotating towards the top side of the map, or at least Zed is right now. And the inhibitor up there is already damaged. So that's the third one going to be falling, and 3 inhibitors down is a pretty dismal place for red team to be, especially considering there are Baroned up minions pushing in onto their Nexus turrets. MSU going to be popping the zone. His Hourglass but falling as soon as it comes out of it. The bonus damage from the Zed auto attack when he's low on health going to be executing him as the Nexus is under fire here. That's going to be GG going over to blue team. Thank you guys for watching. Well played, everybody. I will see you all tomorrow. Thank you guys for watching. You're seriously all the best. I absolutely love doing this, and anybody who enjoys what I do, I'm very, very thankful for you, because I don't know. I work 2 jobs, and I do this on top of it. I don't get empty moments anymore, and, well, it's still been worth it. Thank you guys for being here. I'll see you tomorrow.